We have spent decades perfecting the machinery of wealth accumulation, but we are seeing that relentless, automated growth eventually crashes into inescapable physical limits. Traditional wealth management defines success through the Monte Carlo simulation, a model that aims for a 99% probability that your portfolio value keeps climbing, often reaching its peak at age 95. This model relies on a hidden variable, assuming your physical capacity to use that wealth remains constant. But global health data reveals a different reality. Physiological capacity drops steeply in your 70s. By 82, basic activities of daily living become a struggle. This intersection creates the capital utility paradox. You reach your point of maximum wealth at the exact moment you hit your point of minimum physical capability. When we optimize for peak portfolio value at the end of life, we are solving for a variable that no longer has any practical application. Modern financial planning is still dictated by mid-20th century actuarial tables. Those models were built for a world where people died shortly after they stopped working, not for a century where medicine extends the lifespan far beyond the health span. The strategy of dying with zero suggests that true capital efficiency is found when you align the depletion of your assets with the expiration of your biological ability to enjoy them. This requires a shift in the fiduciary objective. We are moving from a goal of infinite accumulation to a goal of perfect decumulation. A portfolio reaching its highest value exactly when its owner hits their physical floor represents a total misallocation of resources. It is unspent life energy. To fix the paradox, we have to differentiate between simply living longer and morbidity compression, the effort to stay healthy until the very end. Traditional medicine gives us the marginal decade. This is the final 10-year window, defined by chronic disease and physical limitations. During these years, your capital buys medical survival. It funds the management of decline, but it generates almost zero experiential utility. You are spending the most on the things you enjoy the least. Proactive health optimization, Medicine 3.0, aims to square the curve. By keeping capacity high and stable later into life, we create a bonus decade. The massive area gained under this squared curve is where utility is highest. This is the window where capital can still be converted into active, high-value life experiences. Capital utility is non-linear. The value of $1 is tied directly to the health of the person holding it. Deploying $100,000 at age 60 yields a return that simply cannot be replicated at age 90. At 60, that money funds the travel, business creation, and active family engagement that define a life. At 90, that same capital is restricted to the costs of a skilled nursing facility. Standard financial planning failure occurs because we discount for inflation and taxes, but we never discount for biological decay. Because the utility of your wealth decays alongside your health, delaying gratification indefinitely destroys the actual value of your portfolio. In economics, we call this consumption smoothing. It is the process of redistributing resources away from the years where you are too frail to use them and into the years where they meet their highest possible use. The 20th century model of retirement creates a sharp cliff that violates this principle. It forces you to spend your most capable years hoarding for a period of life you may never reach with your health intact. This shift is supported by macroeconomic data from the World Health Organization, which is now tracking how longevity is altering global consumption patterns. The WHO's finding that 70 is the new 60 shatters the mid-century concept of a hard retirement age. People are remaining productive and active far longer than previous generations. Economic data from the UK reveals that these older populations aren't a burden on the state. They are net contributors to the national economy. Between taxation, volunteering, and consumption, older demographics contribute a net £40 billion to the economy annually. This physical and economic durability makes skillbaticals and mini-retirements a viable alternative to the traditional one-track career. Institutions like the Wharton School are preparing professionals for careers that look less like a single climb and more like lifelong learning cycles. Using your wealth midlife to fund these transitions increases the quality and duration of your peak earning years. You are reinvesting in the person who generates the income. Thriving in this new silver economy means abandoning the accumulation dependency model. Your lifespan is a dynamic enterprise that requires continuous reinvestment. If the math and the biology are this clear, why do we see so many rational actors refuse to spend their money? The blockade is behavioral. After a 40-year career, the brain is hardwired for loss aversion, the intense psychological pain of seeing a balance go down. For decades, you trained yourself to view capital depletion as an existential threat. Now, your brain views any downward tick in net worth as a sign of failure. We rely on rigid financial plans, but as Mike Tyson famously said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. In this case, the punch is a biological reality, a diagnosis or a physical limit that your spreadsheet didn't see coming. Psychological rigidity forces us to prioritize a growth mindset long after we should have shifted to a utility mindset. We focus on resume virtues, the numbers, the status, the size of the estate, while neglecting the eulogy virtues of relationships, shared experiences, and presence. This creates the perfectly funded client who is emotionally isolated and physically limited in their final years. Deep down, the refusal to spend is often a defense mechanism against the fear of death. We keep accumulating because it gives us a false sense of control over time. We dress this fear up as financial prudence to make it socially acceptable. But hoarding is not safety. It is the guarantee of unlived potential. Everything we know about biology, macroeconomics, and psychology demands a change in the role of the wealth manager. True fiduciary duty requires centering the financial strategy on the client's remaining biological runway. A modern fiduciary actively transitions the client out of a growth mindset, centering the strategy on legacy and the immediate extraction of utility. This is the solution. When the financial curve arches to match your biological capacity, your wealth reaches zero exactly as your physical ability to use it expires. This harmonized curve is the die with zero protocol. It ensures that every dollar you earned was converted into the highest possible life value. This gives us a new objective metric for success in financial planning. Success is the total volume of experiences extracted from your capital. The goal is to maximize the area under your Healthspan utility curve, the sum of lived returns your portfolio generated while you were actually capable of enjoying them. Wealth must ultimately be subordinated to life. The portfolio exists to serve the timeline, not the other way around. Finality. A portfolio that outlives your physical capacity is not a triumph. It is a misallocation of life. Optimize for utility. Optimize for zero.